Okay, hi everyone. In these sets of videos, I'm going to be going over section 1 of the pink booklet from Acer's prep material. Now, I am looking at the first edition of the pink booklet, which is also called Practice Test 3. I don't know if there are other editions out. Comment down below if there are or if there are any changes. Yeah, I had the first edition. So, as always, I'm just going to repeat what I say every single video about section 1. So my two biggest tips for section 1 is to look for the evidence. There are lots of people out there that say that section 1 is just like a gut feeling kind of section. Either you get it or you don't. That's completely false. Look for the evidence. Treat section 1 like you would treat section 3. It's the same kind of logic and thinking. It's just in, prose and poetry compared to physics and chemistry. And then the second tip is to pay very close attention to the wording in the question. I found a lot of the questions in this particular booklet would really throw you with their wording, so you've got to pay attention to that. The strategy that I like to take is firstly try and eliminate the two that are very wrong. So I will be showing those in red. And then sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes there will be kind of the maybe one or the one that is almost but not quite. So identify that one and then you're left with the correct one. Sometimes you can obviously just pick the answers straight away, but if you're struggling a lot with section 1, maybe try the elimination approach. Okay, so let's get into it. This video will be on questions 1 to 5, which is all about Sigmund Freud's description of dream work. Now, I saw this passage and saw Freud and went, ugh, I hate Freud. And so I basically just went straight to the questions. I didn't even bother reading the passage because I know that Freud is complex and I don't want to read Freud. It was actually a lot easier than I thought. So that's just a good reminder that, if it looks very overwhelming at first, it might actually not be that overwhelming. So let's get into it. Question 1, in dream work. So, the first question usually talks about something right at the top of the passage. So let's read that first sentence. The first sentence clearly distinguishes between the manifest and the latent. And it says from the comparison of the manifest dream content with the latent. So the word comparison tells us that we're instantly distinguishing between the manifest and the latent. I have no idea what they are at this stage. I just know that we're distinguishing between the two. The second statement then links the latent dream thought to the manifest dream. It says the entire sum of the transforming processes which change the latent dream thought to the manifest dream is called the dream work. So it's laying out a definition or a step, a process that you take to get to dream work. And so then out of all the answer options, the answer is very clearly D. Latent content is changed to manifest content. That is pretty much a direct quote from the passage. So that hopefully that's quite easy. Question 2. The latent content of a dream is best described as. So again, at this stage, I have not read the full passage because I know it's Freud and Freud's annoying. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the word latent in the passage. And I'm going to see what context is latent in. And we see very early on that it has the quote, latent dream thoughts. Therefore, I know that latent equals dream thoughts. So now I know latent equals dream thoughts. Now I'm going to look for thoughts in the passage. And when you do that, you get this sentence structure of thoughts, blah, 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 has been built up during the day, blah, 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 not brought to the settlement. And so basically the latent content is the residue of the day. It's all these thoughts that build up during the day, but they're not brought to settlement. That's what the latent content is. Another way that you can say that is the residue of the day, which is A. Yes, so again, with Freud, I know it comes off as really overwhelming and the sentences run on for like 3 or 4 lines with lots of double negatives in them. Just really break it down. Look for latent, look for the context it's in, look for that context, find the answer. 3. The function of dream work is to. Now, again, in the question, we have the word function. Not what is dream work, not even what is the purpose of dream work, the function. function. We need to find what the function is. That's very important. Make sure you read the question. So the function of dream work. So when you read through the passage, what we basically learn is that thoughts build up during the day and they're unsettled. Think about your own personal life. If you've got a really hectic, anxious day and you're really stressed out, maybe you're studying for the GAMSAT and you're really stressed about the GAMSAT, you've got all these thoughts that build up, they're unsettled, and then these unsettled thoughts disturb sleep. I know that I've stayed up very late, being unable to get to sleep over the GAMSAT, and maybe you have as well. But the process of dream work takes the day remnant, turns it into a dream, which makes sleep, which means that the function of dream work is to settle thoughts from the day, which is B. So again, I'm just trying to break down the process of what is actually happening here, because when you read through it, it can be quite overwhelming. Just really break down step by step what is happening and try and relate it back to your own life. I think we've all been in this situation. Question 4. Dream work casts day remnant in the form of a wish, so as to. So we know from the previous question that the purpose of dream work is to allow for sleep. So therefore, all the different processes and techniques that result in dream work will result in sleep, which is why the answer is C, facilitate sleep. So I didn't even have to look at that passage to know that answer, because I know that everything about dream work, all the processes that go into it, result in dream work, and dream work results in sleep. So therefore, everything that goes into it also has to facilitate sleep. Okay, a dream creating wish for an adult is. Now, look at that question again. Adult. In this passage, we get description of children and adults. So make sure that when you answer the question, you're answering for the adult, not the child. Again, I know it's super obvious, and like I'm not in year 5, I understand this stuff. In the heat of the exam, it's very easy to misread a question. I've seen it done in the students that I tutor. So just really make sure that you're answering what the question's asking. So when we go to the passage, we're basically told that in adults, the dream creating wish, it's a repressed wish, and it results in reinforcement from unknown sources. So we have the word repressed, we have the word unknown, which makes it B, which is disguised. Okay, so that was questions 1 to 5. Hope that made sense. As always, comment down below if you need help or clarification, and I will see you in the next video for question 6.